Okay, so if you're gonna hike Dewey Point, do yourself a favor and don't take this first route that you come across on this roadway. Keep walking down the road and take the second turning. You will thank me for it, unless you're looking for a gnarly snow hike. And this one is gonna take you a lot longer and it's a pain in the ass. But if you're into that sort of thing, this is the route. The other one's the easy route, just some information, take it or leave it.
My name is Ryan. I'm a photographer and filmmaker from the UK. This December, I quit my job to pursue a new goal, to have the most exciting adventures, meet the coolest people, and prove that you can do the same if you wish. Armed with a camera, surfboard, and one-way ticket, the road ahead is sure to be a wild ride. Follow along as the adventure unfolds. Connor and Simon both have work today, so I'm on my own. They left me the car, and I have been told about this hike called Dewey Point, which is way higher than the shots that we've been getting at a place called Tunnel View, which is the main shot of Yosemite and some of the other rock faces. It requires us going back to where we snowboarded the other day and then taking a 7-mile hike to the edge of this cliff. It's beautiful out, but there is still a lot of snow, so I'm gonna have to snowshoe about 7 miles from what I can see. It's gonna take a good part of the day, but I think the views will be well worth it. So, since we have a car and a full day and it's beautiful out, let's go. Now that I think about it, it's a big drive and a 7-mile hike in snowshoes to Dewey Point. There must be an easier way. I've heard that if you just spin really, really quickly, it'll teleport you there. Whoa. That was easy. Look at that. It's El Cap. Huh. Beautiful view. I gotta do that more often. This is way more difficult than teleporting. Woo! There's a lot of elevation in this hike, and for someone that's not used to using snowshoes, it's definitely taking its toll on me. I think we've reached the 1 mile point of the off-road part. It's about 1:30 right now, and on the map it says it's about an 8-hour round trip. However, they factored in an hour lunch break, stops for sightseeing, various other things. The sign said 3 miles off-road to Dewey Point. I'm assuming I can do 3 miles in about 2 hours, maybe less, and that should get me back to the car before it's pitch black. This is tricky though. We're about halfway there, getting better elevation now. You can see the mountain ranges all around. Muy bien. I nearly turned back about 3 times along that hike. Turns out I took the tricky route, but fortunately in front of me is the reveal of an crazy, incredible view. Well, that was an incredible view. There was a couple of really cool people out there. One of the guys used to be a geology teacher at one of the local universities here, and he was explaining to me that the valley at Yosemite was most likely carved out from glaciers as opposed to river valley. He said that the defining factor is valleys that have been carved from glaciers generally have an arched, a U-shaped bottom, whereas valleys that have been carved out by water and rivers generally have a V-shaped bed, which is really interesting. And that was one of the most incredible views of the high Sierras that I've ever come across.
I'm not sure what the elevation is, but it's definitely harder to breathe. So I'm gonna go back the 18 route since I'm fighting sunlight and I'm bloody tired. A whole day of snowboarding yesterday and this hike under a time crunch was definitely wearing me out. I need to get back on my A game. And I'm about to go the wrong route. That's the 18. I'm going this way. You'll find that a lot of these trails are marked with yellow markers, which is super important, especially in an environment like this where you can't really see any worn down path. I want to talk about some of the uncertainties that come with moving from place to place. There's the constant stress that you don't know where you're going to go next, which is also excitement. There are definitely days where you feel down and stressed out because you don't have a plan. But that lack of plan also brings things like this. If you would have asked me just a week ago, I thought I was going to Hawaii. So next I'm going to Hawaii. I'm going to stop off in San Diego to see a friend, and then we'll be on West Coast Paradise. But a series of events led me here, watched the vlog, and now I'm in this incredible environment that I've never experienced before. Learned to snowboard the other day for the first time, and then today I'm walking on these things on an 8-mile hike in the Sierras. Incredible. So if you decide to go and do the same thing and you've got friends in different locations that are stoked to put you up and give you a place to stay, you should definitely do it. But it does come with that constant anxiety of like, where am I gonna go next? But like I said, it gives you the opportunities to experience things like this and move on to the next place and cover way more ground than you would if you had to rent a place. Obviously there's hostels as well, but ultimately throughout the highs and lows, it is 100% worth it, especially when you get to see views like I did today. I would say if you're watching these vlogs and you feel kind of bummed out because you live in some place that's kind of boring, or you have a job that you don't like or doesn't pay very much, and you think, oh, here's this kid just recklessly living the life and traveling the world freely and having all these cool experiences. Yes, I'm very fortunate. I have a passport that allows me to travel to a bunch of different countries, and in that respect, I'm extremely lucky. I have my health. I'm very grateful for that. But I was not born into money. I didn't get inheritance, and I have been providing for myself through work that I've done and found myself from the time that I was 16 years old. So if I can do it, you can do it. And what I would say is, if you feel trapped and if you feel like you're in a hole, it can be quite hard to see yourself out of that place and living this lavish life that you would dream to live. But what I would say is, take one step at a time. The first step is definitely nesting away a little bit of money. And that can be tricky too if you don't have a high-paying job. But there are certain things you can live without. You don't need a Netflix subscription. You don't need an Amazon Prime subscription. You don't need the highest cell phone plan. You don't even need the most expensive cell phone. You don't have to eat out every weekend. If you can commit to cutting back on those things and shoveling that money away, eventually you'll get to a place where you feel free and you feel like you can quit your job and sustain yourself for a few months till you figure out what you want to do next, or till you go exploring, or whatever you want to do. If you don't know what to do, which was me about 9 years ago, I would encourage you to say yes to more experiences that arise. Whether that is a friend that does something that says, hey, you should come along, but you feel uncomfortable because you don't know the people. Take that extra step to say, you know what? It might be uncomfortable, but it won't last forever, and it could lead to some really cool things. Or if you're kind of curious about rock climbing, it can be intimidating going to a rock wall if you don't know anyone. But you should go there anyway. Maybe do some bouldering, stuff that you can do on your own, and try and make an effort to meet a few people. There are numerous different things. I tried kayaking, rock climbing, windsurfing, and a bunch of other things. None of them were me. None of them kind of grabbed my soul and made me just want to commit to nothing but that, except for kiteboarding. I learned how to kiteboard and I met the most incredible people that were very like-minded and wanted to travel the world, explore and adventure. And there were communities of these people all over the planet. So as soon as I got into that, I was like, that's it. I need to make moves to get out of my current job. I don't have much money, but that's what I did. I sold stuff, I saved up some cash, and I moved. I quit my job. Everyone said I was crazy, and I traveled and I moved to the States and met the whole friend group that I have now. We've been friends for years, and it's all because I was like, you know what, I'm unhappy. I'm gonna explore some new things. I'm gonna try some new sports. And windsurfing fell into my lap initially, and then kiteboarding followed, and that's what I stuck to. And now, through meeting all those friends and exploring and then seeing their group of friends, you have this big branch of people that are awesome and that know different things and that have experience in different areas. And that's how you end up going snowboarding, and that's how you get into Yosemite and have an incredible experience. Tour guides that show you the best places. If I can do it, you can do it too. One step in front of the other. If that means canceling your Netflix subscription, do it today and save that money. Little steps. If you liked this video, please subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you get notified when I release new videos, and stay true to yourself, and I'll see you on the next one.